What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another fantasy football video. This is going to be the 5 things to remember for the 2016 fantasy football season. And this video should be going up on Wednesday, one day before the season starts. So this is not going to be any draft strategy. You should have probably drafted by now. These are things to remember during the season. Number 5 is don't decline a trade on Sunday. And you might think like, oh, when I see a terrible trade, I'm just going to decline it. It doesn't matter. Why not just wait for it? Wait until the games are finished to decline trades. You might get lucky. Someone's trying to trade you AJ Green. And you're like, well, that's a terrible trade. I'm never going to accept this. And then AJ Green tears his ACL. Well, right now, you've got a trade offer on the table. You watch it happen live. You accept that trade immediately. Okay? Another thing is don't send trades on Sunday. You see your person's going off. You see your person's doing terrible. These are emotional trades. Don't send it because you're giving that person all of the power. If your guy gets hurt, you're screwed because you're the one that sent the trade. So don't send trades. Don't accept trades on Sunday. Don't do anything with trading until the next week. These are emotional trades, and they're just going to get you into trouble. So wait till like Tuesday, Wednesday. No emotional trades during the season. Next is target struggling teams. Fantasy football is war. You do not need to play it nice with your buddy who's doing bad and help him out. You want to win. So if you know that a team is desperate for a wide receiver, let them know. Keep sending him trades. Be like, listen, your best receiver right now is the number 4 in the Vikings. You need help because your team is plagued with injuries. Target their best player. They're going to have to give him up at some point. If they have a stud running back, maybe they got Todd Gurley, but then the rest of their team blows, you need to tell them, hey, I'll give you 2 solid wide receivers. You give me Todd Gurley. I always love doing those trades, 2 for 1s, because you're getting a stud and you're giving up potentially 2 bench spots. Always do 2 for 1 trades, even potentially 3 for 1, because you also get those free agent guys you get to pick up. You're giving up 2 players, you're only getting 1, you also get a free agent. So you do have to factor that into the decision when you're making these trades. And also, say you're in a keeper league. Target a team that has no shot at the playoffs. I mean, say you've got a guy on your bench that he's probably going to have a lot of potential for the next season. Be like, hey, I'll give you him in a trade. You can keep him for next season. I want your old stud that's going off right now. You don't have a chance at the playoffs, so why wouldn't they do it? Why wouldn't they start thinking of next season? They're 1-10 at this point. They're not making playoffs. Give them guys that have upside into the next season. Give them hope for the next season. You take their old stud players and you win this season. So that's a good thing. Target non-playoff teams because honestly, they don't care as much as playoff teams care. So this next tip, coming in at number 3, is going to be when in doubt, play your stud. And this is something that people get nervous about. Maybe their second, third round pick. They thought they were going to be good, but they're having a really slow start to the year. And they're like, maybe I should start this other guy? No. When in doubt, unless someone else is just going off and you know your guy probably isn't going to be good, play your studs. Allen Robinson had 1 catch in week 1 last year. How did he do? Doug Martin didn't hit 80 rushing yards until week 4. He did pretty solid. Doug Baldwin had 2 receiving touchdowns through the first 8 weeks. He ended up with 14. Jeremy Maclin had under 60 receiving yards in both of the first 2 games. His next 2, he was over 140. So just because someone starts slow doesn't mean you bench them. Honestly, if they're a stud for a reason. You spent that high pick for a reason. It's because you believe in them and you think that they're an elite talent. So when in doubt, all other factors aside, just play your studs. Number 2, you don't win or lose at the draft. You can lose at your draft, I guess, if you just draft a pathetic team. But generally speaking, you can draft a monster team at the draft and still lose. So you put the work in. You did all this research over the season or over the offseason. Don't quit. Make smart waiver moves. The guy that added Stafford, Doug Baldwin, Tim Hightower, Ted Ginn at last season beat the guy who drafted a monster team on draft day but then just gave up and was like, oh, well, I won this league. I'm 11-2. I've been killing every single team. I haven't lost since week 3. I'm going to win. It's a weekly thing. I mean, that's single elimination in the playoffs. So if you play the waivers smart and you draft the hot guys off waivers, those are the teams that win the championship. So make smart moves off waivers and don't think that you've won on draft day. So now the number one tip I can tell you, it is a long season. So do not overreact on week 1, 2, 3. Those are the teams you target. The guys that are 1-4, they're freaking out. Don't be that guy that's freaking out. You can start 1-4 and win your championship. I won my championship. I think I started 1-2, so it wasn't terrible. But I didn't panic when I was 1-2. I made smart waiver claims. I added Baldwin. I added Bortles, I think, late. And just be smart. Don't sell someone at 25% of their value on week 2 because you don't win that trade. A guy starts slow. You don't go, oh, I got to get him off my team. No, you hold on to him because he has no value. There's no value in unloading a guy that starts off terrible. What you want to do is trade for a guy that starts off terrible and looks like he might be terrible for the whole year because his value is so low. Even if he continues to do bad, you're probably not going to lose that trade. You want to target a team that's 1-3 and has a stud that's just having some mediocre weeks, but maybe you looked at it and you're like, oh, well, he just played 3 good defenses, but maybe they don't know that. Those are the guys you target. But do not drop someone that you were high off of the first 2 weeks as well. I mean, a lot of you guys really, really like certain players, but then they're going to start off those first couple weeks. In the offseason, they're probably going to have a slow start. They're probably going to have 40, 50 receiving yards a game through those first 6 weeks. So don't drop them when they do exactly what you expect them to do. A lot of these guys that we're saying have high upside, they have high upside late in the season. They don't have high upside week 1. So when I tell you to draft guys like Philip Dorsett and Charles Sims, I'm not telling you they're going to be a number 1 scoring option in week 1. I'm saying later in the season, I think they're going to be really good. So don't just drop someone. I made a mistake. I dropped Mike Evans in week 3 of his rookie year just because he was only having 40, 50 receiving yards, but I didn't realize that he was going to be so good. So don't overreact when a guy isn't super involved early in the season. That doesn't mean they're not going to be involved late in the season. So that's the number 1 tip I can give you. Stay calm. It's a long season. You can start off 1-4 and still win the championship. It's going to be fine. And honestly, the teams that start off great are probably the teams that have veteran guys who are going to break down towards the end of the season. That happens almost every year. You see the guy that drafted a team that just has no upside. He's 3-0. But he's probably honestly going to end up 7-6 because you drafted the upside. I've told you guys all season to draft upside players. Upside players generally don't start off with monster weeks. They have monster weeks late in the season, and that's what you want. So that's the end of the video. That's the end of all of the videos. This should be going up on Wednesday. I'm recording it before that because I'll be in school then. But this will be the last video I make for draft tips for everything. I'll probably be making some update videos on the subscriber leagues. Maybe just highlighting a few teams that are doing good in each one, just to show you guys how the teams are doing, how it's panning out. Probably won't be doing any tips videos during the season. I'm at school, so I can't really record any videos. But it's been great during this off season. Never expected to hit as many subscribers. When I'm making this, I have 1,400 subscribers. My goal was 250. So you guys, I cannot thank you guys enough. It's been amazing. Thank you for supporting me. That is the end of the video. Thanks for watching.